Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. My name is Eugene Osetutu. Today we are talking about this very important flyer. It's because of the MPP presidential elections and the results thereof from the 31st of January 2026. But I want to not just focus about the flyer and what it says, but also I'll do some context for you, some analysis for you. Go back to the four main surveys that came out before the 2024 elections: the NCC survey, that from Global Info Analytics, and also the Afrobarometer championed by CDD and its partners. Now, Musa Dankwa, who predicted the results of the MPP presidential elections for 2026, gave Dr. Bawumia some 57%, predicted Bawumia will win. He missed it when it comes to the other contestant, and he said that Bawumia will lose against any NDC candidate, any candidate NDC brings. Now, it's been so controversial. People are sending me this and asking me, when did Musa Dankwa say this? When did Musa Dankwa say that? Now, when you go to the 31st December 2025, the national tracking poll, what Global Info Analytics call the party leadership and general election, this is where you find that information. Now, what was the information about? What was the marching about? Basically, what Musa Dankwa, the Global Info Analytics team did then was that they were trying to compare candidates Bawumia then. He had not been elected as flag bearer, that's what I'm calling candidates Bawumia, to the four key names that has been thrown about as the successor to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, because he cannot go for another term in 2028. So they compared Bawumia to somebody like Dr. Keso Atuforsen, the current finance minister, and Bawumia does somewhere just 38%, whilst Dr. Keso Atuforsen do 58%. Now, that is very important. Look at the date. Well, this is December 2025. Now they move to compare Dr. Bawumia to somebody like Harun Idrisu, the current education minister. Bawumia does 40%, relatively better. Harun Idrisu does 56%. Now he compares him again to Julius Debra, the current chief of staff. Bawumia again improves to 46%, while Julius Debra do 50%. They compare Bawumia to Esiedun Ketia, the chairman of the NDC. Bawumia does 43%. Esiedun Ketia also gets 53%. So when you look at it, the best performing NDC candidate against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is Dr. Keso Atuforsen. Now, what is interesting is that Musa Dankwa will later say that they collected the data just around when the budget has been read, when people are praising the budget, when people are saying that the economy is relatively better. When you look at how the NDC came January 2026, and how the 2025, and how the economy has performed thus far. But I want us to look at a very interesting context and how maybe the economy is shaping up the conversation. Why am I saying so? Because look at it. When you compare Bawumia's performance to Dr. Atuforsen, that is the worst, 38%. Atuforsen gets 58%. When you compare him to Harun Idrisu, Bawumia gets 40%. Haruna gets 56%. When you compare him to Julius Debra, Bawumia gets 46%. Against the same get 43. So why is he performing worse against Dr. Atuforsen, who is the finance minister? It clearly tells you that maybe the thinking of the people around some of these polls is that the 2028 election was centered on the economy. Now, in 2024, the Global Info Analytics again did the survey, and they told us the key issues for voters. And I want you to know the top five. What was the top one? The economy was the topmost. Jobs, education, roads, healthcare. So the top two largely centers on jobs, the economy, because if the economy is performing well, the private sector will grow, they will expand their businesses, they will create more jobs for people, the government will rake in more revenue, they can employ more, they can give more financial clearance for nurses and teachers to be employed. So look at it. Top five: economy, jobs, education, roads, healthcare. This is Global Info Analytics. Now let's go to NCC. NCC did what they call the matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter in 2024. What were the topmost issues? And that's how they rank it: topmost issue, middle rank, and least rank. Now when you go to the topmost issues: education, employment, health, roads and infrastructure, and economy. So in here to economy features, in here to employment features, because here we have jobs, here we have employment, we have economy here to have economy, we have roads here, roads are there, we have education here, education is also there, we have health here, and healthcare is also here. So it seems as if there's a correlation or a commonality between these polls and the responses of the Ghanaian people. Now let's go to the last one. This is from Afrobarometer CDD. What were the top five issues? Again, unemployment. Then you go to roads and infrastructure, healthcare, education, and management of the economy. So it seems to me that of all these three independent polls that came before the 2024 elections, the key issues run through economy, jobs, healthcare, roads or infrastructure, and education. And for me, if the NDC government is fixing this, if the NDC government is bettering the lives of the people, if they are bettering the lives when it comes to road infrastructure, where people can easily cut their farm produce, go to the market center, sell their goods and get their money, if they improve the gains of education, there's textbooks, the curriculum has been stabilized, if they go to healthcare, improve the health proximity ratio of the people, if they manage the economy well, we are running a single-digit inflation, if that is maintained, if the currency is stabilized, and people, businessmen can make projections. For me, these are the key issues going into the election, and that is why I think Dr. Kesu Atufosen is performing better than any NDC candidate when you compare Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That is not to say that NDC should present Dr. Atufosen. That is not my job on the breakdown. But my job is saying that when you do the deductions inferably, if he is the finance minister, and as at the time when the poll is being done, he is getting favorable showings against all these colossus. Because when you compare him to Haruna Iddrisu in NDC, Andrew Haruna is a colossus. When you compare him to Esiedun Ketia, it's a mismatch, because you know how formidable Johnson Esiedun Ketia has been. So for him to perform better than Esiedun Ketia, for him to perform better than Haruna Iddrisu, tells you one thing, that whatever that the NDC is doing when it comes to the economy, they must keep the pace, because the 2028 election will be about the economy. So whatever that they are doing, they must keep the pace. They must accelerate the 24-hour economy. The Women Development Bank must be there for people. Jobs must be there for people, because 70% of the voting population by 2028 will be between the ages of 25 and less, and therefore they will need jobs. Therefore they will fuel the economy, because they are buying data, and all these considerations, I believe, will be what will be the key determinant of the 2028 election, and why we at the breakdown believe that Kesu Atufosen is doing better than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So this has been the breakdown. This is our understanding of the numbers and the flyers that have been trending. On Friday, we'll return on your radio, more exciting conversation. My name is Eugene Osetutu. Thank you for watching.